Hi everybody, my name is Mahala Watts and I'm an EELCorps member with the Environmental Education Leadership Corps stationed at Eastern Kentucky University's Division of Natural Areas. And today I'm going to be reading Where Does the Garbage Go? By Paul Showers. So let's get started.
Where Does the Garbage Go? By Paul Showers, illustrated by Randy Chewening. In our school, we are learning about garbage. Last week, our teacher told us about the way things used to be. On the chalkboard, the teacher has written 2 questions. Garbage. Where does it come from? Where does it go? Students have responded, garbage comes from leftovers. Garbage comes from my baby brother. Do we have to study this before lunch? The Bulletin Board asks a question. What are we doing to help the environment? The students said, we're separating our trash and recycling. She said there was a time when people who wanted to get rid of something just threw it into the garbage can. They threw in garbage like orange peels, chicken bones, and the food they didn't eat. They threw in trash too, empty bottles, tin cans, cardboard boxes, old newspapers. The dog's thinking, I would have eaten that. When you put garbage and trash together, you call it waste. Once a week, the waste was collected in trucks and taken out to the dump. In the dump, there were piles of garbage everywhere and all kinds of trash. Old tires, broken bottles, tin cans, old newspapers, broken chairs and sofas. In summer, the garbage rotted and made a terrible stink. Rats came to eat it. Millions of flies buzzed around. The dump was a great big mess. Today, some towns still have dumps where they leave their garbage and trash. At one time, New York City used the ocean for its dump. It loaded its waste on flat boats called barges. Tugboats pulled the barges out to sea, and the waste was dumped overboard. Most of the trash sank, but some of it floated. Often, it floated right back into the beaches where people were swimming. Ugh, yuck! New York City doesn't throw its waste in the ocean anymore. It has a special kind of dump called a landfill. Other cities have landfills too. Our town has one, and our class went out and looked at it. A landfill is a busy place. Trucks bring loads of waste from the city and dump it in big piles. Bulldozers with scrapers spread out the waste. Compactors with spikes on their wheels move back and forth over it. The waste is all mashed and piled. The students are thinking, not a great place for a picnic, and phew, it smells. After that, trucks bring loads of soil. The bulldozers and compactors spread the soil over the waste. The soil covers up everything. It keeps out the rats and flies. Then the landfill is ready for more waste. Then comes more soil to cover it up. Then more waste and more soil, layer after layer. A landfill keeps piling up and gets to be a little mountain. Here are the layers of a landfill. These colorful rectangles and squares are the daily waste. These columns are the daily covering of soil. And these long rows are the dirt caps for each layer. When the last layer of soil is spread on top of a landfill, grass and trees are planted on it. The landfill becomes a park or a playground. Then the city has to start a new landfill. Waste never stops piling. What is in our landfills? 10% is plastic, 50% is paper, 6% metal, 1% glass, 13% food and yard waste, and 20% other. Some cities try to get rid of their waste by burning it. They build big furnaces called incinerators and burn garbage and trash in them. The heat is used to warm stores and offices. It is also used to make electricity. But incinerators don't really get rid of everything. They simply turn the waste into ashes, and the ashes have to go into a landfill. Sometimes those ashes are toxic or harmful, and sometimes the smoke from the incinerator pollutes the air with harmful gases. How an incinerator works. Trucks bring the garbage. Garbage is fed into a furnace. The furnace burns garbage in about 30 minutes. Gases from the burning garbage must be carefully cleaned and filtered. Then the gases are released. Today, cities are having a hard time finding places for new landfills. Waste keeps piling up. People keep throwing things away. They throw away too many things. Some of the things they throw away could be used over again. Each person in the U.S. creates about 4 pounds of trash every day. The cat's thinking, that's a lot. Many cities are now trying something that is new for them. It's called recycling. Recycling means making trash into something new instead of throwing it away. Almost half the trash we throw away could be recycled. Look for this symbol on glass, metal, and plastic containers that can be recycled. Our city is recycling. We still put garbage in the garbage can. Orange pills, chicken bones, the food we don't eat. But we keep empty glass bottles in a separate box. Aluminum cans and foil are kept separate too. When we put the cans and bottles at the curb, we pile old newspapers inside of them. We flatten our cardboard boxes and pile them next to the newspapers. When the garbage truck comes, it picks up only the garbage and takes it out to the landfill. Other trucks come for the bottles and cans and newspapers. Those things don't go to the landfill anymore. Our city sells them to factories and mills for recycling. Paper mills chop up old newspapers and turn them into new paper. Paper is shredded into a pulp. Pulp is washed and bleached. Water is drained from pulp. Paper is dried and rolled. Aluminum factories take aluminum cans and foil and melt them to make new cans and rolls of foil. The cans are chopped. Then a decoder takes off paint from metal scraps with hot air at 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Then the scraps are melted in the furnace at 1220 degrees Fahrenheit. Then the melted aluminum is poured into molds. Glass bottles are ground up and melted to make new glass bottles and jars. Some bottles are sterilized and reused. Other glass bottles are crushed. The glass is melted in a furnace. Gobs of molten glass are poured into molds. Blown-in air cools the glass. Even plastic can be recycled. Plastic factories chop it up and turn it into things like flower pots and park benches. Plastic is chopped into bits. Bits are washed and dried. The plastic is melted and poured into a mold. Remember the bulletin board at the beginning of the story? It asked, "What are we doing to help the environment?" Before, the students only said, "We're separating our trash and recycling." Now they say, "We put our food scraps in the compost heap." I made a toy for my dog out of old socks. My family gives all of our old clothes to the thrift store. My mom started a recycling program for paper at work. Let's start one here. I carry a lunchbox instead of a bag I throw away. We carry string bags to the store so we don't need to take the plastic ones we'd only throw away. Our teacher says recycling is a good start, but we must do more. We must stop making so much waste. We must stop throwing so many things away. We need to find ways to use things over and over again. That's what we have done at home. We used to bring our groceries home in paper and plastic bags. When we emptied the bags, we threw them in the garbage can. When we did that, we were just making more waste to pile up in the landfill. We have stopped doing that. Now we use string bags. They hang on the kitchen doorknob. When we go to the supermarket, we take our string bags and put our groceries in them. The cash register asks, "Need a bag, kids?" The kid says, "No thanks, we have our own." We never throw away our string bags. They are strong and hold a lot of groceries. We use them over and over again. The end.
Thanks for following along, and I hope you enjoyed the book. Now, I challenge you to think about, where does your garbage come from and where does it go? And what are you doing to help the environment? Feel free to comment your answers below the video. Stay safe, and I'll see you later.